Good morning, hello. Good morning, evening, afternoon, etc., etc. Everyone's having a good Sunday. Half my tooling is not working, which is exciting. Fix that. Wick. Hand, Mutton, Julian. If anyone's on Twitch, I have not been able to see you yet because StreamerBot was like, no. But now it's like, yes. Click this, click that. Okay, right. I think we're hot to trot. Sorry, I don't think anyone's messaged on Twitch yet. If they have, I've missed them. My chat. Yeah. Okay. Hello. I think we're here. Hello. Hope everyone's having a. How is everyone's Sunday going? It is okay weather here in the UK. Well enough to barbecue and a few beers, so we'll see how the C++ goes. Mysterious, hello. Oh, right, so plan of action. What are we doing with our lives? What am I doing with my life? Lua, right? Question mark. Well, I hope you also have the energy to provide much needed insight and quips in between the Maltesers. Is the Lua questionable? I mean, we've not really written any Lua yet. I think the infrastructure is pretty sound. I'm hoping to do the questionable Lua today. You know what? That's fine. We'll take it. We can work with it. Okay, so we kind of took Lua and really forced it into our little game, which was cool. We can load scripts, write scripts. Well, load scripts, execute scripts, put things in, get things out, have some sort of connectedness to the rest of the game, which is cool. Like we sure can boot a vector 3 in and pull one out. My plan now is to write some levels, which is what we're getting to. In my mind, I have an ambitious goal of writing 10. I think maybe I reserve the right to reduce that number. But I think the next few streams we should try and write some levels and try and see where the gaps are in the functionality that we've got. That's my plan. We're going to see where we can get to, see where the gaps are. I know for a fact that the Lua stuff doesn't really integrate with the message bus, so we might have to integrate some of that. I'm kind of prepared to outrageous. Yeah, well, I think maybe people can pitch in some ideas and get it going. But anyway, that's what I want to do. I think we might do like a file watcher, so we can auto reload levels. Let's write some code. So we have a little level abstraction, which is okay. And then we have the levels we have so far are kind of named after fruit because why not? What we need to do today is we need to create a new implementation of level for loading Lua scripts. Probably doesn't even need to implement level because I think eventually they'll all be Lua levels. But for now, this gives us a structure to go with. So we'll have an update and a restart, and then we will pass in a file path, I guess, or a string. I haven't really decided yet. I guess a file path, and then yeah, we'll load it from there. Let's see how it goes. AC, hello. Okay, let's write some code. Let's do e source scripting. No. Game levels. I'm trying to remember where everything is. Lua level.h. Okay, we'll get up the level header file so we can see what we're doing, and then we will Pragma wants this namespace game, all that good stuff. Oh god, it's warm. It's warm today. Okay, levels game levels double H, and then we'll have like a class Lua level, which will implement the game level, something like that. A little something like that. No, I've not turned on the fan. I actually had to unplug the fan earlier to plug something else in, so I could not turn it on even if I wanted to. It's fine. We'll just power through. We'll power through the heat. So Lua level. What's it going to take? So we've got a... Don't we have like a resource loader? How does that work? We'll probably take in the resource loader object and the thing to load, and then we'll load that from there. This does not do anything particularly exciting. I think eventually we'll need to load it from the TLV, but for now, I think just loading off the disk is probably okay. Thanks. I appreciate your concern for my well-being. I think I'll be okay, but I do appreciate it. Okay, so let's start building this out. Might as well start building this out from where we think we want to be. So there's somewhere going to be a resource loader class, and I think I'm going to want a string view to match the API that I've saddled myself with. The const resource loader is the string view script name. We might extend resource loader or something to monitor, to be able to detect when the files have changed, and we might be able to hot reloading. What is a file when it's at home? Okay, I seem to remember all this. And then what's left on the level API? Probably want these two. Override. Okay, and then let's bring this over here, and then we'll do into the sorts games levels Lua level.cpp. Not a lot of autocomplete there, like 100% less than I was expecting. I want some of these. So it's gamer. It's game. Yes, you're right. That's why it's game levels. Thank you. Here I am. about to blame my terrible tooling. It turns out I was the issue the whole time. And then let's drop this side here and then do Lua level. And then, right, dot. Okay. Should give us something to get going with. Yeah, I mean, you should definitely blame my tooling because it is not great. It's kind of funny because I think about this a lot. Like, one of the reasons I do these streams is because I like talking about C++, and I think it is hopefully kind of a useful resource for people to see, you know, a bit more about modern C++ and how I particularly solve problems and come along and ask questions and stuff. And I really want the barrier to entry to be as low as possible. So I probably shouldn't be doing like NeoVim and MSVC Wine and all that stuff. I probably should just be using like VS Code or Visual Studio to really lower the barrier to entry. I don't know. I do think about it. I'm not going to stop, but maybe I should. Right, where's the level CMake? So let's get this. Also completely broken my naming convention by doing level underscore something to doing something underscore level, so that's exciting. Off to a great start. CMake. Let's just see if this blends. Oh, have I left the override in the CPP file? Thank you. Yeah, you have to mirror const, but you don't have to mirror override. Oh. It's a really tricky one because I partially agree. Build systems and compilers and horrors like that are part of the job, right? If you're going to be a C++ programmer, unfortunately you have to deal with this horror. So you're going to have to get used to it eventually anyway. However, I think if you're just starting out, if you're just at like hello world, you want to be able to just write hello world and not worry too much about the complexity of CMake and which compiler to use and linking statically or dynamically and all this sort of stuff. So I do think it's can be a bit of an impediment to learning, but it's something you will have to come across anyway eventually. Visual Studio v17.14. I looked at the release notes and I cannot remember anything in them, so I can't remember specifically what it has, but my thoughts are like the next version is always cool, and I probably will update my tooling to use it at some point. Yeah, I mean, ultimately it all depends on what your end goal is, right? If your end goal is to make a game, then you should pick the path of least resistance that gets you there for the kind of game you want to make. So Game Maker, Godot, Unreal, Unity, doesn't really matter. Pick one, learn it, start making games. If you want to learn C++, then that is, or if you want to learn like rendering technology or some of the internals, then obviously that is a different path that you have to take, and that has different trade-offs and obviously has different misery that you have to subject yourself to. But it's, I mean, all programming is misery, right? Like, I love it, but still miserable. I've never used WX widget, so I can't really give you any opinion on that. I have used ImGUI and it's pretty great. I cannot tell you whether that meets your needs or not, but ImGUI sure is easy. Yeah, I think if you are, I think that's a good point. Like if you're going to go down the route to making your own engine, like one, make sure that's really what you really want to do, and you might not be better off doing what we're doing, which is making a game from scratch, which is totally different to making an engine. But if you are making an engine from scratch, that is an opportunity for you to like try new things and try different paradigms, and not just necessarily try and make a carbon copy of Unity, because it wouldn't. I hate to say it will never be as good as Unity because they have such a head start on you and a big team. Yeah, we'll cut that. We'll cut that into shorts. The shorts machine is always hungry. Okay. I'm just going to maybe unuse these. Maybe they are used. Maybe they're not. Who's to say? Certainly not for the compiler to say. There's always Qt as well. I think with Qt they have like OpenGL and DirectX widgets for you to kind of embed in the wider framework. Okay, right, so that blends, doesn't do anything. So let's get the level back up. So we're going to want to, let's just, again, fix up my miserable tooling. I also think that if I'm going to be doing this like live in front of people, I want my tooling to be as intuitive for me as possible, and then we can kind of focus more on the code rather than on the intricacies of my build system. So we're going to load a level, and then we're going to want I think we're going to just take one of the first levels, like Apple, and just try and translate that wholesale into Lua, see what that gets us, and then start tweaking it from there. Because the idea is then this level file should be as abstracted away and ambivalent to the underlying game as possible. So all we should be able to need to do is just throw different Lua scripts at it, and it has enough plumbing to be able to drive that. But to work out what that plumbing is, it's going to be a little bit, we'll just have to suck it and see. I don't mind talking about tooling, that's fine. We'll talk about it all day long. Yes, we're going to hold we're going to need, the level is going to own the Lua script that it's going to be able to query for during updates. So it's going to be, my thinking is you have to define a set number of Lua functions with like a very specific name, and then the C++ will call into those. So it'll be like update, like get barrel position, get whatever target position, and then it will kind of handle that. I mean, I only make good jokes, I don't make terrible jokes, I don't know what you're talking about. Scripting, so we'll have a Lua script. Then we'll have a Lua script, and then we'll start driving this from here. So let's go over to the level. So we'll do const auto Lua. That's annoying. Is Lua script going to be, it's not default constructible, I need the source. Resource loader. That gets a file. Can I do script loader dot load script name dot as string something like that. Because this will return a file, and then this has an as string, which gives us a string view, which we can pass to the loader. And that temporary should live long enough that it can get into the Lua machine. Oh yeah, you can make bad jokes at my expense. That's absolutely fine. Speaking of terrible jokes, my daughter very kindly earlier said, "Oh, I'm going to draw a picture of you." I was like, "Great, thank you." Got a great big turd on my head. So that's how my day's going. I kind of wish I had that much hair. I am often that grumpy. I don't know if I needed a 3-layer turd on my head. She gets me. She gets me. Okay. I'm missing a colon. Let's try that. Okay, that might work for us. And then we probably need some sort of like setup, I guess. Scripting script runner. So script runner's lightweight. We can just create those as we need to, because all they will do is just compile down to the function calls that we would manually call anyway. So we do script runner. Put that on the script. Yes, you should be able to clip. That's fine. I'm going to turn it into a short anyway. The auto keyword is doing a lot. So which auto means effectively deduce the type. That's effectively what it means. It's saying, hey compiler, I don't want to write the type here. Can you just deduce it for me based on ostensibly what's on the other side of the equal sign? In practicality, according to the template type deduction rules, which are a little bit nuanced, but basically this is just whatever type this is. This here in the function is called the trading return type syntax, and this just basically becomes this. It's just an alternative way of writing a function. Effectively, it's the equivalent of C#'s var. Like, it doesn't mean it's dynamic. It doesn't mean I can change the type. It just means it infers it from the right. So it's just less typing in a lot of situations. Like all things C++, there is opinions on how much you should use it. I pretty much exclusively use it for everything. It's up to you whether you think that is right or not. Okay, so we got the runner, and then I think we're going to do something like runner.execute like init. Let's be a little more explicit than that. Init level. So the script will have to define, for it to be a valid level script, it will have to define an init level, okay? And then that will call, and then that will do, that give the script a chance to do whatever initializing it needs, okay? Then what we'll do is we'll create a runner in the update method, and then this will do runner.execute update level, and then we'll pass into this the runner dot player dot position. Again, once we get onto like timings and stuff, we can pass in like a delta time or something there. But for now, this should be good enough. Don't know why I can't call position on it. Oh, because it's incomplete type. That incomplete type just means I've not included the header file for it, so it doesn't know, the game doesn't know anything. This translation unit doesn't know enough about it. Okay. Celestial Bluetooth, hello. Sissy code, hello. Hello, hello. Twitch is busy today, which is good. Okay. And then I guess for the sake of completeness, we'll do like in the spirit of how I solve most problems, we're just going to do this incrementally bit by bit. So we're going to write a Lua script that implements these functions, and we're going to check, and then we're just going to log from them. We're going to check that that gets wired up and does. Obviously, it won't render anything or do anything. And then what we'll do is we'll try and start figuring out how all this, because I don't know how to do it. If frustum intersects, I feel like that needs to be pulled down to CPP code. But for the visibility check, the delta, like all this chuff here needs to be Luarized in some form or another. We need to be able to, like, it still needs to do this in C++, but it needs to do it in a dynamic way so it can query the Lua script. I not talk today. Can query the Lua script to get all these details. So if it has 1 barrel, 2 barrels, 10 barrels, 100 barrels, it will just figure it out. I'm not too worried about performance at this point because it's a pretty simple game. The rendering overhead's pretty low. I mean, is calling Lua function once per tick that poor performance? We would profile it and do it. Like, there obviously will be some overhead, but at this point, I'm not worried about it. In 20 streams time, when I'm bashing my head against how poorly performant it is, you are free to refer me back to this exact point in time where I started this problem. Yeah, I think it's like once per tick, maybe. And then we'll have to query some data out of it as well, so there will be a few extra function calls, but again, I think it's okay. Let's just check that builds. Okay, right, so we're building. We're building. Okay, so let's do game. Back to our game. So let's now add Lua level.h. So I just want one level. Oh no, we're in the game namespace. So that'd be the create a Lua level, and that will have a. Of course, we're going to have to pass in all the other chuff that we need for loading stuff as well into the C++, but that's fine. Let's just, again, build up step by step. My aim for the end of this stream is to have one level in Lua, like just the most basic one, and then we can just take it forward from there. And then let's call this, like, I don't know. We can keep up with the fruit names, because it's what's life without whimsy. What's this? Lua string concat? No, the goal is to do 10, but I have to start off with 1, right? I cannot in parallel produce 10 levels. Like, the end goal is 10, but let's start off with 1. Okay, so that should call that. That will immediately call restart. Yeah, no worries. Do call me out. Do make sure I'm making sense. Okay, so E assets level apple. Again, this eventually needs to go into the resource pack, the TLV. That then is compressing. Blah 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 blah. I think there might be two constructors for Lua level. There'll be one that comes from a TLV, and then one that comes from the file. And then if people want to provide their own files within the framework that we built, then we should be able to tell the game, oh, hey, actually try loading these from this like directory. That's cool. I'm glad I'm on the right tracks. Actually, I want VS, don't I? Assets. Okay, so what did I? Definitely don't need two of them. Let's go back to lower level. Okay. So we want function init level end. Oh, I'm not sure I care about the tab. Whoa. What is 1? What is going on? 2. Why is the indent so bad? There's a config. Okay. Nope. Right. I need to quit out the whole thing. Try it again. Okay, that's better. Okay, and then we can do Lua level. Okay. Print init level. Function update level, function restart level, and then that will be restart level, and then this will be update level, update level, and then this will have a position, and then 2 string pods. Okay. Oh, I've Pythoned myself there. Good spot. Yeah, no, I'm in Python mode. Yes, this does use OpenGL. Thank you. Okay, cool. Right, let's see if this is enough. Maybe? Question mark? Because this points it to, I believe this is where it finds the root of the resource loader, so it should pick that up from there. Because I've not needed to destroy level yet, and there's no better reason than that, because everything is RAI'd anyway, so I think it's the C++ cleans up a lot of it anyway. Nice. It crashed. I think. Let's fire this up in the old tooling. Where's the launch? Oh, this can go away. It'll be build source game.exe. And then args is still assets, right? I think. It certainly called out. You're 100% correct. It should have called out to the Lua. Okay. No, not in my own. I got a dangling reference somewhere. Hey? Oh no, this is on this side because when you're streaming, doing this doesn't cause the code to shift left and right. And my mug is normally on the right here, so it keeps all the code kind of much better structured on the left, and this doesn't really matter. That's why I put it on the right. Although I do appreciate if you want to see the cool stack, my mug is now in the way. Why is it failing on bind cube map? I mean, cube map is indeed null, but I think we're just gonna time you out. Yes, I think you're right. I think that's the issue. I think we do more setup in the initial level than I probably had considered. Yes, here we go. We still need to load the floor. We still need to load all that. Yes. Does this also set up the skybox as well? Yeah, okay, fine. Skybox. Right, that's fine. This is easily solvable. Easily solvable. So the issue was that we bring over here. In the current native C++ level setup, we actually populate the scene. We put some entities in, blah blah blah. So I was not doing that from the Lua, and subsequently, we had nothing to render. So a lot of this will eventually need to come from the Lua, but for now we're going to hard code it. I just want to focus on the bits that I actually care about. So all the levels can have the same lighting and skyboxes and everything, and we'll just add. We will, rather than trying to, I don't know, boil the ocean, we will selectively move more and more stuff over to Lua as we need it. So I'm just going to yank all this. So that's for like 131. And then call execute init level. So we will eventually need to get back from this call the objects to load, like the barrels and stuff. But for now, let's just have a floor, okay? So we don't want any of the barrels. And I need to bring in a bunch of other stuff though. Oh. What else am I going to need? Entity. Graphics mesh. Include graphics mod. Oh, material. And we will still need texture and cube map and sampler. Okay, bring all that jazz in, and then I need a TLV reader as well, blimey. TLV reader should include I've got the player. Okay. So this will then take in the default cache, which is our lovely template metaprogramming cache solution. And then a const TLV. It feels like an age ago since we did the TLV reader stuff. Okay. And then levels Apple. We're going to need pretty much all this, I think, apart from the message bus, but that's fine. And then we'll go all the way. Alright. Show all that jazz in there, and then so many header files. So we want these two. Why is that not formatting it like in any way like I want it to? Fine. That doesn't need the material, the mesh, or the sample, or the texture. Too many. Oh yes, you're right. Bottom. Boom. Much better. Thank you. No. AC's there with the banhammer, ready to go. Not taking any prisoners. Jesus. The hell do I use the game state transform for? I don't think I need that. Don't think I need that. Need the hash include game transformed entity, and then I'm going to need a vector as well. Okay, right. I think we're getting there. Indeed. Okay, right. So I don't want any of the barrels for now. Wait, where's the... Where does the floor come into this? Am I being silly? Have I not... Have I... What? Oh, did I just not put that bit? Okay. Oh, right. I see. It was part of the initializer list. It's not that I deleted it. I just failed to copy it because it's part of the initializer list. So we're going to need to take 79, take that, slap that there, format that. Floor resources get skybox. I don't want the state for now, and I don't want the bus for now, but I do want the resource cache. I guess might as well keep it hanging around. And then scene pushback floor. Okay. I think that's kind of enough to get us going. There's definitely some errors here, but let's I don't know why it's complaining about the chain. I'm not using a chain in here. Okay, right. So now let's go to game and Lua level. So now I need to pass in the extra things. So I pass in the script name, I pass in that. And then I'm going to pass in the resource cache and the TLV, not reader, what did I call it before? Ooh. Oh, it's just reader, okay. Okay, that should be enough. Okay, fine. We're going to remove the chain bit anyway. We don't need, as sad as I am to see it go, we don't need the compile time, chain of responsibility patterns, logic composition. Okay, that's cool. And we should get the player moving. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, right. We can probably comment that up. Add the file to editor config. Load. Add Lua level. And then I need to git add-f assets level apple. And then, because I don't normally add the assets to the Git repo, but I want to for the text. It's just because there's loads of big files and stuff in there. But for the Lua files, I want to track them. I could have a better git ignore in there, but so who cares? Oh yes, I've typoed that. I'll go fix that in a second. So let's do add basic Lua level for reword editor config. Okay. So now we need to think about getting barrel information out of the level. So again, let's just start placing them, and then updating them can come later. So I think for this, we're going to want something like something like that. I think. And feel free to ram to all my code. Why has this suddenly gotten bigger? Feel free to shout out if this is not good Lua. But if we edit init level and then we do, how do you add something to an array? Is it push? Or do you just index it? I think I want it to be global, right? Because this whole script will exist entirely just for this level, and it has its own Lua VM state machine. So loading multiple Lua scripts will have their own self-contained globals. So I think I want this global, right? So then in update levels, I can query it. We have, so how do you expose engine functions to the Lua VM? We have, that's a good question. We have a interrupt. So when we create the Lua script, we add all these special functions to the Lua, to the table. Sorry, we create a meta table with a bunch of special functions and then some other general functions to the table as well. And then there is a interop set of C functions which match the right signature that allow us to, that Lua will call these, and then from here we can do C++ things. But if the Lua script exists purely, if when the C++ level is loaded, it loads the Lua script, and just for the lifetime of that level, that Lua script exists, and then when it loads the level again or the next level, it reloads that script, resets everything. I think it might be okay. No, multi-threading is, I think I'm not planning on, the only thing I might add some threads for is like a file watcher, but then we might be able to use the Win32 API for that anyway, so undecided, yeah, but okay. So let's do barrels dot just start it at 1 vector 3 naught naught naught. Emery, been a member for 10 months. I cannot believe we've been doing this for 10 months or more. Thank you very much appreciated. Yeah, I think this very much is in line with my goal of just writing the code we need now and then aggressively refactor later. So hopefully if we call init level, then we get the barrel. Then I need some way of querying this from the CPPs. So here's the thing, right? We support getting a bunch of results. We don't support getting arrays. So do we extend all the APIs to support arrays of them so I can get back an array of vectors, or do we have something like what do we think? Do we want to write a bunch more C++ to potentially try and add array types to all these, which I think might get a little bit messy with the script run and stuff we've got? I think this is better. Just query the script for how many you've got, right? So is it len? By the way, just FYI, I don't really know Lua, so this is a real bold choice of me to pick as a scripting language. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it will take a lot of time. Oh, sorry. Yes, I think someone said it. Is it that? I think that should work because the table is an array. We shall see. Okay, so lots of suggestions. I think this is fine for now. So what we should be able to do now is do Lua level, right? And we'll get the Apple, and then we're going to do const auto barrel count equals runner dot execute so int 64t is it barrel count? Okay, so that should get us from the Lua back into the CPP how many barrels there are, and then we can do for const auto I equals 0, I is less than barrel count I. That's definitely not const, don't have a map on there. Oh, we could maintain our own barrel count. That's a good point. Maybe we'll switch that in a minute. I just want to just get something working, and then we'll refactor it. So I am going to, that's a good point. I want to keep the paradigm separate. So I'm going to iterate in zeros, and then I will add 1 into the function call, because I feel like you should talk in terms of C++ and then convert that into Lua terms at the point you talk to Lua. So that's just the way I think about it. Const auto pos equals runner dot execute vector 3 barrel position I plus 1. And then we should be able to do something like, oh, because it's transformed entity needs the chain, but we don't need that anymore. So Right, sorry, we're going to take a step back because I need to re-architect some of this. So what's in a transformed entity? It's just the entity and the bounding box and the transformer chain. I think we're just going to leave this null, and then we'll go back and fix that later. Once we've removed all the C++ code levels, we will no longer need this chain, and so we can just go and delete that. Oh, it is hot in this Rhino. Lower level. So, and again, we could have it so that the textures are pulled out of the Lua file. So, you know, everything can be configured by that, but we'll just slowly add more over as we need to. Which of these is the position? I think it's this. The AABB is also not going to work because we're going to have to dynamically figure that out based on the position that we've returned, whereas at the moment it's hard-coded, but sure. I think that might need to be a valid object to start with. Yeah, I think the key thing for me is that we're not making a game engine, and apologies for everyone who's been here before and heard me say this, but I'm very clear that we're not making an engine, we're making a game from scratch, so it's not generic. It's not designed to support anything other than the game we're writing, and I'm only writing code that advances us in this relentless march towards a game. So yeah, it'd be useless for kind of anything that's not the game, but a lot of it might look like an engine. Yeah, we might be able to use the chain to do some testing as well. That's a good point. Ambiguous call to overload. Oh, I know exactly why that is, because this will need to be a stood int 64t. What I suspect is happening is this is an int 64t. This was auto reduced to an int something integer promotion, potentially changing this type. Oh, actually no, it's also the +1, isn't it? Oh. Ooh. Nice, nice. Also, I've just realized my tooling has stopped for YouTube, which is exciting. So I'm missing comments. I apologize. Nice, barrel, nailed it. I want to bring back the AABB debug lines, and I can't remember why those are not doing it. So we draw the debug lines there. Is it because I'm not adding those lines? I no longer iterate through to add those lines. Hang on, why has my chat stopped? Chat stopped chatting. It's logged me out. I bet it's logged me out. I really guess it has. What is the best tool that I found for combining them? It is surprisingly shit. Just kill -9. Just go away. Sorry, I should have done a bit more song and dance about that. We have a barrel back. It's exciting. YouTube accounts, sign in. Okay, chat, window, broadcasts, monitor. Okay, I think we're back. Yes, they disappeared here, and I can't, because you can just about see the frustum. I don't know. I can see it. I don't know if you guys can see it. There is a slight purple outline around the view window, which is the entry into the frustum. So that works. Obviously, you can't see the rest of it because it's exactly along the borders of your view matrix, projection matrix. Let's see if we can get those. Let's see if we can get those back. Streamer bot is what I'm using for multi-chat. That is the tool I use. But it keeps disconnecting YouTube. I don't know why. So we need to go through. How do we do this? We have to add the lines manually. I can't remember. Oh, don't we just have? Hang on. Right. I think we actually abstract a lot this way. Don't I have draw A, BB? Yes, which adds it to the lines. Right. Okay. So then I think after we do level update, I think we just have to do for const auto entity in level scene, and then we do wireframe renderer dot draw entity dot scene dot. I bet we've lost the ABB by this point though. Yeah, that's why I removed it, because it didn't persist into the levels. Kota, glad you're here. Glad you're enjoying the videos. I have chosen to not vibe code any of this, and just, I'm not saying it would have been more efficient. I suppose actually I have lost the Oracle a few things, but I've turned Copilot off for this. Yeah, okay. How do I? Oh, I bet this is not easy at all. What we're going to have to do is, and I think this is worth doing because we're definitely going to want this back, is add the transform entities over to here. Okay, which is not the end of the world. Do we want to do this? Or do we want to just change? No, there's an easier way of doing this. Because it's all going away anyway, and eventually the top level the top level, the top, oh, I'm stuck. The base level class abstraction will go away. Okay. So if we go back to game, and then if we find out where these levels are, if we change game to if we just store, this doesn't even need to be a unique pointer, but I'm just going to keep it for that because it makes the other code easier to work with. This should now work because now we should have access to what we can do now is do auto entities constant vector transform entity. Again, this is all gonna go away eventually. So now we should be able to do level entities, and then this will have dot bounding box. Right. Okay, nailed it. So now I just need to implement this. Do this, do that, do the other thing. Return entities. Right, nailed it. That'll work first time. Yep, remove the need for this polymorphic base, but still dynamically allocating it because I don't want to make that many changes. That is indeed a function. Yeah, thank you, Quacko, you saw it. Got there in the end, guys. Got there in the end. Nice, okay, so that's back. I think it was like that kind of shit before, as in it was never particularly accurate, but it was sure as there. Man, I just had a flashback to all the frustum culling, like nightmare. The lure is for controlling what the levels are going to do eventually when we get there. I don't need a script runner here. It's not wrong. I think we need to, if I remember correctly, no. I think we said before the correct solution was probably have something which takes the mesh data and the transformation matrix and computes it on the fly, or at least computes it initially on the fly. But we'll have that later. Yes, absolute nightmares from the frustum culling. It was good fun. Like, I think it was good fun, question mark, but quite a lot of work. I think also transformed entity needs to have a like is visible boolean, and then we'll just frustum cull everything. We could then optimize it by then not even sending those to the graphics card as well, and then the lure will be able to query for that, basically like, hey, am I visible? Is this visible? And then that computation will already be pre-done in C++. I think that's where we're going to end up with this. Oh my goodness, the red line, yes, where it was already selected in the tooling. Oh, I completely forgot about that. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I have to get AC to ban you now. I needed a little more fidelity than a sphere because I know the shapes of the objects that we're going to be doing, and I know that sphere would potentially overbound it, but yeah. Wow, loads of Twitch follows today. It's exciting. the Twitch and YouTube numbers are very close today. I am undecided. I'm going to expose as much as I need to. Poor choice of words there. Don't clip that one. But if I need to, we will integrate them. Luckily, hello. Okay, so let's just bring that back. So make debug lines great again. So now the next thing is we need to have two barrels. Check that works, and then one of them needs to move with the player. So let's move this one, what, 5 in the positive x-axis, and then we should immediately see this, and then we need to do hot reloading. Would I recommend CMake? All build systems are terrible. CMake is maybe one of the least terrible. I don't know. That's a bit of a sweeping statement because I don't actually have a lot of experience with the other ones. I think CMake is pretty good for what it does. It is a little bit convoluted in terms of like the targets and its weird like DSL, but a lot of you kind of have to look at what other people are doing. A lot of large projects are built with CMake, so it must be able to build large projects. So it definitely has its use. I've used scones before and I didn't really get on with it. I've used just pure make files before and it's a lot of typing. CMake seems to be, because CMake is a meta build system, right? It doesn't actually build your thing, it just generates the platform specific build system for you. So if you go into it with that kind of design, that kind of thinking about the philosophy, you can kind of see how it works, and yeah, I think it's alright. Why have I got no... Oh, because I need to update the AABB. How am I going to do this? I've not tried pre-make, so I cannot comment. So this needs to be... I think we can actually take this, right, and add position to it. So what we should be able to do is the AABB is defined by minimum and maximum. So if we've just translated something, those min and max should just be moved by the translation. Does Cherno use pre-make? Interesting. My Git messages are okay. They could be better, but then everything could always be better. It should be reasonably indicative of what that change is, but there's no additional details other than just like the top level Git commit. I don't add the paragraphs of text under detailing exactly what goes on. But yeah, so like move transform entity to separate file, like reasonably obvious what that does, hopefully. Oh yes, there's a lot of integrate changes, which is I've done a lot of work and now I can't think of anything better to say. Well, to be fair, what I try and do is I try and give all the changes that I've made, like single atomic commits with descriptive messages, but then the thing where they all kind of coalesce together and main, that is often nothing better than just I've integrated all these changes. I think unless you have very, very specific requirements, like you have very large projects or very, very exotic things that you're building, I don't think it's worth spending a lot of time about the build system. I would pick one that people know in your team, or you can kind of upskill on quick enough and just get going writing code, because it's not the build system you're shipping, right? It's the result, it's your code, and it's the products that you're building. Obviously, if you're building something like Google's mono repo, then sure, you might have very, very specific requirements and need something a bit more tailored. Everyone hates, whatever build system you pick, everyone's going to hate it anyway, so you might as well just pick one and get on with it. It's not the, there are probably more interesting problems to solve in your project. Blah. I feel like I've missed something somewhere. I wonder if that now introduces to an initializer list. Yes, it does. Interesting. It can... Interesting. Nice. Yeah, I've not experienced this kind of like implicit build system, but I conceptually like the idea. I would have to write some, work on a large scale project on it to kind of form a real opinion on it. At 11 PM when there's a prod issue and I really need to get something built quick and deployed, like that's when I really care about the build system. Okay. So what we should be able to do is update is for const auto index entity in for some ranges. Nested views enumerate entities. Const auto position equals I don't know what else. Oh, I've already got a runner. Runner dot execute vector 3. Barrel position index +1 entity dot entity set position. Okay, so that should now sync in the update call, resync the Lua positions with the game's view, with the game's positions, which will cause them to render in different places. So if we do Lua here, if we just do in the update barrels 2.x plus equals 0.1. Oh no, there's no plus equals there. barrels2.x plus 1 plus 0.1. Okay, let's try that. Barrel should just slide to the right of its own volition. Oh, lots of comments. Sorry, I was wondering. Enough. Bye. While that slides off into infinity, I will look through the comments. So the trailing return type comes up a lot. I had never used it before, so I had never formed an opinion on it. I wanted to try it on a reasonable size project, which this is slowly becoming. So I've kind of decided to commit pretty uniformly to it in this project. I quite like it now. I found myself writing it normally. So yeah, that's kind of why. It's basically a personal preference at this point, but it's great for driving engagement with chat. So there is that added bonus. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why Queco is so like attacked by Nightbots, because you should be exempt. I will check the settings later. Goodbye, Barrel. Can I check them now? What? This is that. So where's my other one? Nightbot. Dashboard. So this is the Twitch one. Chat moderation. What did you get penalized for? Posting links. It's true, I had missed that one. Apologies. Okay. Post away. Yeah, so the game is... It's not really a game yet. It will be a game. It's going to be a little puzzle game. I don't think the puzzles are going to be particularly great, but I think it's kind of a fun thing to try and do end to end. I'm aiming for like 5 to 10 levels and maybe some user generated ones, or the ability for users to generate ones. The game is kind of the gimmick is that things in the world will move in interesting ways related to you. So sometimes they'll move in the same way you move, sometimes they'll move in the opposite way to you move, sometimes they'll only move if you're looking at them or not looking at them, or some combination of those. And the idea is that you have, in each level, you have to figure out what the mechanics are for that level, and then move the objects, at the moment barrels, to some sort of goal or target position. I was writing those levels in CPP, so each level had a CPP file, and that turned out to be quite tedious and a lot of work to iterate. So I wanted Lua to drive all the levels, so setting up where those positions are, setting up where the targets are, handling the unique movement mechanics for each level, and then we can just write a bunch of Lua files, and just like the game will just kind of chew through them and make it so. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Yeah, entity is the new data. Okay. So now what we have to do is go to, so this is this level apple for arbitrary name is the C++ implementation of the level, and we're trying to bring that over to Lua. So what we can see from, so I'm just basically trying to recreate this in C++ at the moment. Sorry, in Lua. I'm trying. Right, what I'm trying to do is convert the C++ into Lua so it is easier to work with. Yeah, no worries. So somewhere in here is the movement mechanics. I think these come from the compile time, the const expr lambdas that form our compile time chain of responsibility pattern, which is absolute word soup, and one of the reasons I want to move away from this anyway. I should. Oh yes, you're right. I should turn that into a channel alert. I'll try and do that. I'll try and do that later. And then we can have it on. I believe AC. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we can then have it on Discord as well. I think Discord syncs them from Twitch and YouTube? Question mark. Okay, game transform state. I think so. I think unless AC's just been like diligently doing it in the background. But I've noticed some of the Twitch ones that I commissioned are on the Discord. Maybe. Oh, we have a Discord, by the way. I'm sure someone will do the obligatory bang Discord command for me on all the required platforms. Where are my const expr? Jam. I can't. In game. I seem to have lost some of my code. Check visible here. Where's this? Oh, they're just hard coded in the level themselves. That's fine. So camera delta. Ah, thanks, AC. I'm glad you're there. Glad you're doing it. Cool. Okay. Well, I'll take a picture of this and try and add it. Well, I'll try and reify it in some platform at some point. Add it to my to-do list. Okay. So for this, we want the second barrel to be the. So I need to track last player pos equals vector 3 0.0. Not. And then at the update of the level, again, assuming the player always starts at the origin, otherwise we'll have a big initial delta, but I think that's fine. We need to do equals. We should be able to do barrel x equals barrel plus. This is where all the interrupts are going to help us out because we've defined all these, we've added all the mathematical operators and backed them by the C++ implementation. So we should be able to do something like pos minus last player pos, and then do last player pos equals pos. Let's give that a try. AC's halfway up a mountain and still decided to tune into the stream, which is fair enough. Yeah, we could pass player pos into init. Might be ideal. We'll see. I mean, this is not working for us anyway, because one. I mean. Oh. Jump scared myself. I do need to put in some sort of initial. Also, why is the scale so Oh, I think it's just really, really close to me. Can I still detach the camera? Is that still something I can do? No. Okay, right. What's going on? Prolib _ subscribed on Twitch. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. With Prime, I believe everyone who has Prime has a free Twitch sub or two in the way. There are worse places to spend it. Yes, thank you. If you head over to Discord, there's also some extra. Well, there's a generally pretty active Discord and a few extra goodies for subscribers and members. Yes, I'm out of water, which is a little bit sad. It's already there. He knows what he's doing. Preaching to the choir. Right, why is this not working? So I'm just, because this is like a weird pipeline thing that I built. I want the new... I think I need to initialize this with the... I do need to initialize this with the player position, right? And then we can do last player pods equals... I don't like pods. It's lazy. I should just be better. And also this should definitely be player position because otherwise it's ambiguous. Like whose position? Okay. So let's go Lua level. Init level, and then that should pass in. I have to take it into the constructor. Lua level. Okay, glad you're here. Glad you started learning programming and reverse engineering. Do come along to the Discord if you want some help. We're pretty friendly there. Happy to help people. Okay. We'll take in the player. Take in the player. We'll take him in. We'll give him a nice home. Const player. Stick the player in the level hole. And then we will do player dot position. Why is that not formatting? Okay, and then back to game. So there's a lot of plumbing for this, I'm afraid, but once we've done most of the plumbing, it should make our lives a little bit easier. It is near him, yes. For better or for worse. Get in there, get in there, get in there. I gotta update the AABB. And then do maybe I'll put the jump scare barrel back in. Great question. How do you avoid getting burnt out? Okay. How do you avoid getting burnt out on these large projects? I think for me, I have a very consistent but not overbearing commitment to it. And I only do this project live, okay? So, and I only stream twice a week, and I only stream for a couple of hours each time. So I only can spend 4 or 5 hours a week on it. I think that kind of helps not getting burnt out. The other thing is, I get to stand here and like chat with you guys about it, and it's fun because it's kind of collaborative, and it's not just me sat in a room drinking beer writing terrible code. So that kind of helps. But it's kind of just discipline is a lot of it. Kind of got to see the end goal, figure out rough route to get in there, and then just got to keep chipping away at it. It's work, right? You know, it's fun. Like personal projects are fun, but eventually the sheen wears off, and the call of the new project, the call of the new project siren beckons you over. So you just, if you're committed and you want to do it, you gotta have a bit of discipline and keep chipping away at it. True, yeah. The siren's call is alluring. Again, that's why I kept this project scope really small, and it's still, we're now nearly 50 streams in and only kind of getting somewhere. Software engineering is hard, programming is hard, game dev is hard, it's all hard. But it's, again, it's nice to stand around and chat with people and kind of build a bit of a community around it. And it's nice because we have a bunch of regulars who show up basically every stream, which is nice, but always a bunch of new people who show up. So there's always interesting things to talk about and discuss. I don't think there's an editor war going on. I think someone was just asking what I was using, and then they said, you know, I think these things happen a lot. It's fine. Hey Mark gets, I think through probably no fault of your own, I had to add a bunch of non-secular words to the ban list for our bots because we're having some spam, so apologies for that. A tool's a tool, right? Use what you find comfortable and fun and easy, and you know, helps you deliver value on whatever project you're working on. What was I doing? Oh, I need to now work out the diff, because I now need to const auto. Yeah, it's fine. Like, if nano works, you use nano. It literally doesn't matter. But I can understand that, you know, if you spend enough time doing anything, you will have a preference for it and want to talk passionately about it, and that's absolutely fine. We don't tend to get too into the weeds and stuff like that here, and I'm pretty quick to shut it down if it does get too derailed. The old pols will be, well, I really don't like entity.entity, but then we'll set the new position, and now, so it's delta on position. Its delta is position minus hold position, and then I should be able to do entity dot bounding box dot min plus equals delta position, and then we'll do the same for the max to the max. Let's see if that works. No, nailed it. Okay, so we're back to almost where we started. Obviously, there's no kind of like level end condition, and the tinting of the barrels is gone. I think I will probably do that in C++ and then just remove it later when we don't need it. There's no point recreating that. I want that for debugging now, and so it makes sense just to do that in the C++. We need to separate out barrels and targets, and then that will make it easier to decide what colors they're going to be. But for now, I think that's kind of fine. Is the Lua code that cursed? I don't like. What's like? I'm genuinely interested. Like, I'm not a Lua programmer. I've never really done it before. I'm genuinely interested to know, is this good or bad? Like, I'm happy to learn as part of this. But that doesn't seem too outrageous to me. Yeah, we'll have different materials, so we don't have to use that weird callback thing, and well, probably might not even be barrels. It might be barrels, as they've been with us from very early on. Okay, the last thing, but it kind of but doesn't it need to be in the global scope? I don't understand how it. How else would I persist this data across multiple invocations of the script, other than hoisting it all out in C++ and passing it in every time? I'm genuinely curious. So the last thing to do is to check, I guess, if the level is complete. So what we can now do is add probably another function that we can call. So the suggestion is you just bung all the global state into one variable. I get what you're saying. I don't think that gets us anything. Yeah, I think this makes sense, right? This gets us, again, progresses us in the it's been a long day. It's very warm in here. It progresses us in the relentless march towards making a game. I'm writing some Lua today. I'm trying to encapsulate our level setup and logic into a Lua script so that in theory it is easy to work with. I will get rid of all these print statements later. It's just handy for now. So this, I think this might be where we are missing. Yeah, we need to add the distance function, but I guess we could just quickly do it in Lua for now and add that later. So, or do we add it now? Because we know we're going to need it. Yeah, it's the architecture that we've kind of naturally arrived at without giving it any previous thought, because I didn't really think too much ahead of time about how I wanted to architect this, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong, it's just we were doing this live and figuring it out. but as the level does require, I think the level might end up owning the player object anyway, in which case, yes, this will disappear because the script will inherently have it. For now, it's kind of synchronized outside of the C++. But yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I want to add another function to my Lua table, but I don't need to add it to the meta table, right? I think I can do this after here. Lua, so vector3 interop. If I do vector3 distance, I can do Lua push C function Lua.get vector3 distance, and then Lua set field Lua.get -1 distance. We could namespace them again. Like we're just going to rapidly iterate now, and then we'll kind of figure out what good is later. For now, like good enough is what we're shooting for. I think this is right. So this should add a. This is what the constructor does, right? Or do I do it in the constructor when I? No, I think I actually need to do it in the constructor, don't I? When I push a new vector onto the stack, I need to set the X, Y, and Z, but then I also need to Lua push function state vector game vector3 distance, and then Lua set field state -2 distance. Yeah, I want it to be associated. I need to have a think about this because this now departs from my design for vector3, right? Because vector3, everything is non-member. The API in the C++ land is called distance and pass it 2 vectors. I think I want to replicate that in Lua. So that is here. I do need to. I just need to register it, don't I? Like. Like I should be able to just do that. That, right? I want to go for free functions just because it is the same as I've done it in C++, and I want those to be like as much of a I want them to be as close as possible. So now, it actually makes the code a lot easier now. So I just do auto vector3 distance, Lua state, it is a state, turn 1, and then 135G, stick less than there, so we're going to want at least 2, vec2, push number, and then v, so this should be vector3 distance vec1 vec2. Okay, I think that's fine. So now I should be able to get to my Lua script, and I should be able to say is complete, return distance of barrels 1, barrels 2. It's complete if that's less than like 0.1. I need to call that from the C++. That's just and then Lua level. So update level. So this we're going to go if runner dot execute ball level complete. If that is true, then we do, is it, now I need the message bus. Hear that beer in the fridge calling. Message bus and then we'll do message bus like that, and then we should be able to do bus dot host level complete. We need to have a better name. The script should probably return a Lua level name, but we can fix that in a bit. I just wanted to see if this works first. So let's bring in messaging message bus, fix our constructors, message bus, and then somewhere under all this chuff, resource cache, bus. I don't know why this is not formatting correctly. Moving back to game. Oh, so much typing, and then bus. Yeah, like what weird like fractious ecosystem that we have here between the different flavors of Lua. So that would imply that the level complete. Is complete. Okay, fine. Let's change that back to all this sweet debugging we've got now. Let's give that a go. Oh, I think it does. Okay, it is causing the level to restart, but the way the game works at the moment is it just loads the next level, in a circular list, and the next, as we only have one level, the next level is the current level. It just means that we now need to implement restart level to reset everything. But I'm pretty pleased with that. Let's comment this up. So this is, I just need to write a super quick test for this. Otherwise I will not be able to sleep tonight. Distance, and I got some multiple vectors, so this would be better. Something is there, and then runner, and then this was going to get float back, and then distance. If you thought we were done with all this testing, you would be wrong. Oh, Twitch and YouTube are closing the gap rapidly. Exciting. Hello, Italy. Hello from the UK. You have joined us at an interesting time because I'm nearly finished for the day. Where's the interrupt stuff? Okay, fine, nice. You can, it's like all things, right? Everything's open for abuse and beyond the original intent. Okay, let me just comment this up super quick. So we now have that, and where's the scripting stuff? So add vector 3 distance to Lua interop, and then we have recreate first level in Lua, kind of, because we don't support the visibility check. So I think my plan going forward for this will be, we need to completely recreate that first level, which includes the visibility check. So we need to rewire some of the C++ rendering tomorrow so that every entity does a frustum test. We'll work that into the renderer so that the entities have the concept of whether they're visible or not. Then we'll do restart level, and then I think we'll kind of be back to almost where we started like 4 or 5 streams ago. Tag this quick. Small text. I'm just tagging the stream. You're not missing out much. Stream 47. Let's stick that in the git hole quick. So yeah, I think the plan is we will finish the functionality, which will involve a bit of rework in the rendering side. We will finish the restart, and then we will start adding a bunch more levels. And I think we'll be a pretty good place then. I think after we've got enough levels that I can be bothered to make in one stretch, I think we'll be at a good place to start like alpha testing this. So I'll do a build and then make it available on Discord, and then have like a channel in there and people can discuss, like, because I suspect like, I've only ever tested this on one set of hardware, which is mine, so I suspect there's going to be loads of issues. So it'd be kind of nice to get that out, get it out to the people, and then we can spend a few streams starting to figure out what those issues are, because I imagine there's going to be loads. And then after that, it's just a simple case of sound and text rendering and menus and packaging and more levels and optimizing and proper graphics, and then we're done. So like easily halfway. That's what I kind of got for today. It's been a long day, so I'm going to kind of start wrapping up there. We are game deving. Do head over to Discord. I would normally hang around on Discord for like an hour or so afterwards if anyone wants to chat. I'm just going to see if there's anyone on the Twitch side who's doing the C++s today. Doesn't look like it. Let's have a quick look-see. Sometimes there's a lone C++ soul out there. Not today. There is no C++ love today. I've reached the bottom of Twitch and there's no C++, so we won't be doing that. That was easy. How much project did we make? We made a little bit of project. If you mean progress, then we made a little bit of progress as well, which is nice. We've nearly recreated the first level in Lua, which kind of unlocks the fabled ability to make more levels quickly. We've yet to see that reify itself. Yeah, I got jump scared by a barrel. That's fun. I think we're there. Cool. Right, everyone. As always, back Sunday. No, Wednesday. Oh, Jesus, what day is today? Back Wednesday. We'll do some more of this. It'll be fun, and we'll have a good time. I hope everyone has a good week, and I will catch you all later.